Good morning,
Good morning.
and welcome everyone to the Dark Roast. I am Donna Stroll, and I'm here with the always beautiful and talented Rose Short. And today we are going to be talking about comparison articles and
Yes.
how to use them to, make to build up and help your affiliate marketing business. So
Yes.
that is what we're going to do. We're going to go through like how to do them, how to highlight your pros and cons, crafting call to actions within that whole process. So, yeah, grab your coffee. And let's get started.
Yes. So comparison articles versus comparison videos are fun because you can really get down to like the nitty gritty of the details. Most video formats, unless you're doing like a long form YouTube format, right? You want short, sweet, to the point. And so a comparison video would be like two different outfits kind of thing, right? You'd be like, oh, which one do you like better, this or that? But you're not really giving any information. So the purpose of the article is to give readers the best option for their needs and also let them know, like Donna said, the pros and cons of two different things. So let's say it's software, right? Like autoresponders, that's a great one because a lot of us use them. So maybe you're comparing two different autoresponders, talking about the pricing, the features, what you can do, what you can't do, stuff like that. And then it also, of course, builds trust and credibility because it should be unbiased and well researched. And usually it's one of those things of like, I've used both. Here it is. Because you don't ever want to really be talking about or promoting things that you don't use, which we've talked about before. And then it can increase your conversions because you can address doubts, clarify choices, and of course, like if there's one you're really passionate about, that's going to come out and probably let people know to use that one.
Yeah, I mean, you do see some where obviously they're going to put their affiliate marketing, the one that they're affiliating for at the top. But as long as they give real information about the other ones and do provide the pros and cons, then you can pick which works for you. Um, and the other thing it does is it helps identify, you're identifying pain points and they're decision drivers. So, what is the price? These are the things you're going to include, like the price, the features, the ease of use, whether they have a trial or a free option, that kind of stuff. And it also, helps to reach people where they're at. Are they beginners? Are they intermediate? Are they advanced users? Because your article is going to be geared to at least one set of those, right? So, and a lot of times, like for me, I'll hear about a new software, something that's interesting to me, and so I'll start looking, and then I'll end up in comparison articles. Almost invariably, I will end up in a comparison article. So I'm looking at, okay, what features do they have? What's the cost? Is it online or is it, do I have to download it to my system and those kinds of things? And so a lot of times I am a beginner because I've never used it before. It's just something that twigged my interest, so I want to know more, right? Or other times I'll be using something like when StreamYard, um, you know, made some changes right away. I'm not new to live streaming, but I wanted to know if there were options out there that were similar, and what those options might be. So.
Yep. And that's why we're on EV Max now. And then if you're trying to grow your blog, especially because usually if you're doing these kind of articles, it's going to be on a website or a blog or something like that. And it's going to increase your SEO and visibility, especially if you target those high intent keywords, like product versus product or best, theme to use, or kind of think of it in terms of like a YouTube video. Like you want the caption to really pop, but also tell people what it's about. You can optimize it for like snippets, or like on Medium, people can highlight. And then you can have like that'll help with FAQ searches, stuff like that. And then, like we talked about with having links, you can also use internal linking to drive traffic to like reviews or directly to the product page. So, like I'm not a review person. I figure most of the reviews are paid for, and like most people who review are the ones who are angry. So, like, the reviews to me don't mean anything. But for a lot of people, like, reviews are important because I know Donna checks the reviews. So being able to
I
link to
do.
those could be very beneficial as well.
I
And then again,
do. I
you're
actually
building
do.
your credibility.
Yeah, I do a lot of searching when I'm looking at stuff. I will check out 1,000 reviews. Well, maybe not 1,000, but I definitely will go past page one on Google and to see, because sometimes people will wipe out negative reviews, but they don't always go past page one, right? So, and YouTube has a lot of comparison as well. So if you want to do video comparisons, usually with YouTube, they'll try to keep it down to maybe two or three. Whereas with an article, you can have a lot more. Like you could have 4 or 5 different programs that are in, or things that are in the same niche or the same product line. But yeah, YouTube, they generally try to keep it more down to like two or three because you're talking about it and people's attention spans go boom, right? So
Yeah,
you want to, like, things that you can do is like choose your products wisely, right? Focus on, make sure that you're actually comparing apples to apples and not apples to cars, because that's not going to work for you, right? And also when you're making your article and you're doing your pros and cons, or the comparisons, make sure that there's clear differences so that people can make decisions. If everything sounds the same, then they're leaving with no more information and no reason to choose the one that you think is best, because if they all look the same, right? And then you want to include your popular options and also ones that are underdogs, maybe something that's a bit smaller or newer. Include that because maybe people have been burned by the big brand already and they're not interested in that, and they're really looking for something that's alternative. Like a lot of people will use open source stuff, so why not include an open source option, especially if you're talking about softwares, that isn't common but is definitely available.
for sure. And then like your key features, right? So like maybe price doesn't matter to you, but I promise you price matters to someone just starting out. So price is a huge one. You want to talk about the price and if they have a free plan or not. Obviously, you want to talk about the features, the pros and cons, but also the user experience. So again, like you might be in this space for 10 years, but if you're trying to talk to somebody who's just starting out, like, like Go High Level is a great one for experienced people. Go High Level, if you're just starting out, can be very overwhelming for people.
Yeah.
So bear these things in mind, right? And then customer support. Have you used the customer support? What was it like? Was it good? Was it not good? Right? Like that's a huge thing. And then, of course, reviews and ratings are other key things to highlight.
Yeah, and that customer support is really important, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we did the it's just like with banking, you know, everybody got pushed towards the ATMs and online, and now people are getting really seriously annoyed that they can't just go to the bank, right? Or you
Yep.
call, I didn't want to talk to anybody, but now you're frustrated because you want to just freaking talk to somebody. So that customer support, I feel like we are moving back towards wanting some more one-on-one interaction or real interaction, and that might be a bit of a pushback on AI. But it doesn't mean that AI is bad. It's just like there, people are wanting to know that they're cared about, right? When they're putting their money or they're investing in a product, they want to know that they're actually going to be cared about on the back end as well.
Yeah.
And then another way you can do it is create comparison tables, right? You can create a visual for people. You can have graphs, you can have bar charts, whatever, pie charts, all those kinds of things. You can do side by sides, like Amazon does that a lot, right?
Yeah.
If you've picked a product, they'll show like 4 different products that are within the same style. Good morning, Pravat. Uh, we're just, so that it helps highlight some of the key features, some of the things that one has that others don't, and so on and so forth, especially if you're also including, which you should be, including your own product, service, or system that you're trying to affiliate for. You're comparing against that. You want to try and make sure that you're highlighting the key features that really pop in that. So, like whether it's a free trial, customer support, integrations, all that kind of stuff, you can have the what each one has. And people like visuals. We're visual, right? So that's super helpful.
Well, and sometimes the visual has something that you didn't cover, right? So maybe scheduling is important to somebody, and there's only one platform that you're talking about that has scheduling, but you kind of glossed over it, but you put it in your table. That can be the deciding factor, right? Because if you're not scheduling content, like you're probably more stressed out than you need to be. We were talking about this earlier.
What?
Like scheduling content is I don't want to say game changer because I hate it when people say that, but it's a time saver, right? It allows you to get your content ready to go. And then in the middle of the week, you're not freaking out that you need something to post because you've got something scheduled, or at least you should. Like a week of scheduled content is usually a good goal to aim for. And then specific sections for specific cases can be super important too, right? So, like maybe the CRM that you really love is one that's best for like online marketers, but maybe you're trying to target a wider audience too. And so what do I say? Something like this is best for beginners in this field, or this is best for budget conscious buyers in this field. Or if you're in multiple fields like I am, you can be like, this CRM kind of sucks for realtors, but this one would be really good, right? And so being able to differentiate those two and like specifically let people know if you are in this field, this is what works for you is going to work really well. Or even if it's like, small teams versus large teams or something like that, something to let someone know, like no matter what stage they're in their business, this is the one that's going to help where you're currently at.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that you also incorporate real world scenarios, like your story, basically, where you've used it. Hypothetical use cases. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, this person did this, and you have it down pat. But you can, I mean, if you've got any kind of an imagination, you can certainly see how this would affect somebody in this situation. Like we do it when we talk about solopreneurs versus people who have teams. Now, that doesn't mean that we have this massive team, right? But we are able to look at examples outside of ourselves and utilize that as part of the real world scenarios that we would use. If you're managing a remote team and you need seamless collaboration, you could use this tool. However, this one doesn't necessarily have as much, when you're trying to compare HubSpot towards Hootsuite or something like that, right?
Right.
So,
Your pros and cons should not be hidden in your article, right? You want it available for quick scanning because there are going to be people who don't care about the fluff. They're looking for very specific themes, and that's typically pricing and pros and cons. So, make your pros and cons very, very clear. Highlight the positives and deal breakers both without bias. And don't do crazy fonts. Like maybe that's how you do the table, something like that, but make it very easy to find. Make it, usually you want it about the middle of your article, but you want it really, really clear where it is so that they don't have to do a lot of searching for it.
and consistent all the way through. So if you have your pros and cons at the end of every write up, or at the end of one write up, you need to have it at the end of every write up. Because, yeah, if they have to search for it, people are not interested in being made to work for things at that level. They just want the information. And then include a strong call to action. Now, sometimes when we're building out content, we forget to do this. Um, and it's really important, especially since you're utilizing this option for your affiliate links. You want to make sure that you're placing them very carefully, so above the fold, like at the make sure that they're available. Usually what I see a lot of times is it's the name of whatever product, and then they'll have the link, and then again at the end of
Mm-hmm.
that section. And then, yeah, make sure that you're saying, you could try the product risk free, or, see the latest discount or see the latest options, or check out this free video or whatever. You can have that on there. And also make sure that at the end of your article, or somewhere in you, like at the beginning of your article and at the end of your article, that you are noting that that it's an affiliate link, right? You have to
Yeah.
make sure that you put that in there. If you're going to do it, just make sure. And don't just put the link on the one that you're doing, right? So
Yeah.
if you're going to have like 4 different hosting companies, Wix, Bluehost, this, that, and the next thing, make sure that you're linking all of them, and that you have your affiliate link properly connected to the one that you're affiliating for. If you're affiliating for more than one, good on you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So, key areas to focus on, right? Content quality. So, honesty and transparency. We talk about this all the time, as well as authenticity. Um, you don't want to be the person who leads people astray. And then include recent data reviews and pricing updates. This one's super important because Honey right now is hardcore under fire because they we're doing a bunch of shady stuff. Like, I'm just gonna put it that way. If you want to look into it, like, it's in the news, search it. But so anybody who promoted Honey is now kind of having to backpedal. And there's been creators who have edited it out of their videos because they don't want somebody a year from now to go back and be like, oh, what's this Honey thing he's talking about? There are people who can't edit it out of their videos, but have made a new video saying, hey, I used to promote this and now I don't. I've had to do that with platforms before too, where like I didn't promote them, and then like they kind of won me back, and so I started promoting them, and then they lost me. So we've all had to do it, right? Sometimes we fall for stuff, but so be very, very honest about that. And if you find out any of these, things, absolutely let your people know. Retraction articles suck, but again, it keeps the honesty and transparency, and it keeps that trust.
yeah, and I mean, with blogging, obviously, it's a little bit easier. You can just go in and edit your articles, and make it nothing worse than looking for some information and then finding out that it was from 2020, and it's like, oh, that's not useful to me anymore, right?
Yep.
So, you want to your engagement tools. Use comparison sliders, interactive quizzes. To recommend your products, add a comment section or a feedback section, if you want that, because maybe people have had their own experiences with the ones that you're putting out. It allows you to, again, build that trust to show that you're not just, you know, trying to push your thing, and, you're just using this format to make it work for you. So,
Yep.
yeah.
And then optimize your monetizations. Obviously, test different placements for affiliate links, different fonts, buttons versus text, things like that. And then, of course, you can use bonus offers, things like free sign up, free trial, discounts, etc., that are tied to the affiliate program. A lot of the product-based affiliate programs will give you a coupon code for your followers as well as your affiliate link. So like with BFit, I have that. And that can be a great way to introduce people to the product you're talking about as well.
Yeah, and then conversion tracking always, right? You want to, if you're using blogging, then heat maps to see where the readers are clicking, so that and track that. See that you track your links, see how they're doing, and you can always, make them smaller, make them bigger. There's lots of different areas that you can track them. But as always, you need to be paying attention to those links, and to see what's working and what's not. Maybe you need to change up your content. Maybe you need to change the way that you promote it. Maybe you need to just move where your links are. All those kinds of things. Maybe you need to update your story. So,
Yeah. Maybe your tone's wrong, right? Like, so
yep.
maybe when you're writing it, it sounds like you're talking down to people instead of having a neutral or conversational tone. So, this is what I tell people with video all the time who are uncomfortable with video. I'm like, just get on video and pretend you're having a conversation. That's all it is, right? Like, that's how you do lives with confidence. You just pretend you're talking to a friend. Your article should be the same way. It should be like you're having a natural conversation, not trying to sound like a PhD.
Yeah.
And then, of course, repurpose it. Like you can turn those blog posts into short form videos, long form videos. Uh, those comparison articles are great to send to your email list. You could even kind of shorten it down into like a newsletter format. And then it keeps, those are evergreen content essentially. And then you can keep it evergreen by setting reminders to update your prices, your features, your reviews, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because things change, right? Nothing
Mm-hmm.
is static. So pricing changes all the time. And that's a big one. And maybe a program just falls out of favor for you. Maybe you decide to go affiliate for something else, but you still have the article. And especially if the article has traction, just go in and switch it around a bit. Update your information
Mm-hmm.
and switch it around a bit. There's no reason to change that article completely. Maybe you just need to do some adjustments. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially when it comes to pricing, right? Because, like, I mean, that's why StreamYard is under fire because they upped their pricing and didn't tell anybody they were going to do it. So, if you know that a price increase is coming and you can be the source of that information, that's going to be super huge to your followers and for your credibility in general.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And again, that works whether you're doing blog posting or if you're doing it through your YouTube channel, right? Short form, not really meant for this. This is definitely for longer form. It's stuff that you want that's going to be evergreen because this is the stuff that's going to be pulling people in um, continually as they're going to search for it, whether they're searching on YouTube or they're searching on Google or their favorite search engine, you know you
Mm-hmm.
want them to pull up your articles, and that's what comparison articles are great for. They're great for
Yeah.
having that evergreen content that's going to be pulling people even in, whether you're promoting it and getting it out there right away and constantly in people's faces or not.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
you can utilize short form content, like pick two or three key features that are important to you that maybe one doesn't have, and then do a like, would you prefer this or this? And then
Mm,
depending on their answer, you can be like, hey, like, have you checked out this platform? Obviously, if you had a conversation, you know where they are in their business and whatnot. But you can utilize short form content. You just have to be a lot more intentional about it, I would say.
yeah, and realize that it's going to be here and gone within
Yeah.
usually 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
You might get a week out of it,
And it's
but
really going to be a hook for getting them to the article or the longer form video or something like that.
exactly. So that's it. That's all. I think that bottom line is it's a great way to promote your affiliate links without being salesy, which we are all about.
Yes.
And it's a great way to provide value to the people that you're trying to reach. It's a great way to reach a wider audience of people that you didn't expect. And it's a great way to have evergreen content that is going to be there whether you're face first all the time or not, right?
Yep.
So next week we are going to be talking about,
Something we talk about all the time, but haven't really broken down, and that is affiliate analytics. We're going to break down how to actually measure and track so that you know when to pivot.
yeah, so I think that's it, and that's all for today. And there you go.
If you found this helpful, please drop a comment, share, and hit that subscribe button. Your feedback is super helpful in growing this channel.
And of course, if you have any questions or if there's any specific thing that you would like us to talk about, drop that in the comments too. Happy Friday!
Happy Friday, everyone.